Hello. Today I'm pleased to give an update in my role as the chairman of Getty Copper. It's a role that I've been in for a few months now, and really excited about what Ryan and the team are putting together in central BC. I've always loved copper. I started my career as a geologist in Australia, working for Oz Minerals, that became ultimately acquired by BHP in the copper space. I've always had a view that copper discoveries are truly generational opportunities. And so I've always kept a steady interest. We went and built Heliostar because you can't really build a small scale company into the copper space. You have to build that into the gold space. But I kept that interest. Copper, you see, in my opinion, how important it's going to be in the next 20, 30 years. You're seeing it, it's going up another $2 over the last 12 months. You're going to see it in every increased electrification. You're seeing it in these AI demands. Ultimately, if you want a higher standard of living or you believe in a higher standard of living, in my opinion, you believe in using more copper, and that means a higher copper price. I think if you wonder how Getty came across, as I'd been looking around for project opportunities, and I think as a team we've had a pretty good nose at finding things, whether that be in Heliostar or Silverco, and the success that they're having in Mexico when we found those mines privately. I'd always wanted a copper project. Most big copper projects are either in development or have sort of some fundamental limitation, be that metallurgy or permitting or monster capexes. And so it's really hard to find new, truly alpha copper opportunities out there. And so I got to know Brent Lipinski and Tom McNeil, who had this incredible project that was a legacy of their father's work in central BC. And it didn't have the valuation that it deserved. And it needed some renewed attention to unlock the potential of some significant resources in the largest copper belt in Canada. And so I got to know Brent and the team over 2 or 3 years. And as we built Heliostar in parallel, I think it gave them the confidence that we could raise capital, we could build good teams, and we could unlock value for shareholders. And so late last year, we basically sort of restarted Getty for the new chapter that it's in at the moment. We raised about $15 million in capital. We covered off all the debts that the asset had. We've brought in a new management team. We're principally led by Ryan and Roy, who know how to explore BC porphyries, and I think will really unlock a lot of shareholder value. And we're sort of diving deep into there's been pretty much a generation without material drilling. The late 90s was the last big drill programs on the property. To put it into context, you're in central BC in the largest copper district in Canada. You're next to the largest copper mine in Canada, immediately north of Teck's Highland Valley complex. And you've got about 25% of this district that hasn't seen significant modern exploration. And so there's a number of reasons for that coming to pass. But ultimately, it just presents incredible opportunities for people today. You're seeing some historic resources that we're looking to upgrade into current day resources. We think with the current copper prices, there's a potential to expand those. And some of the team's results suggest there's at least tonnage potential at Getty North. Then there's Getty South, which the team will be drilling and putting results out on shortly as well. And that sort of forms this great starter pack of something in the order of 100 to 200 million tonnes of potential. And then there's all these targets outboard of that haven't been worked up or explored. And I think in the fall, in the second half of the year, expect Ryan and the team to present what we think could be new potential discovery areas in the district. There's already, 7 different deposits in the Highland Valley district. So thinking that there might be 8, 9, or 10 is a pretty easy leap to make. Ultimately, the company's plan is to unlock value by finding what is the total resource endowment of our Getty claims, and then looking for the best monetization pathway for that. We don't need super high tonnages and we don't need super high grades because of nearby infrastructure. Northern BC gets all the attention because it's a new frontier. But having worked in Northern BC and Central BC, I'll take the infrastructure in Central BC every day. It means it's a lot lower economic hurdle to bring something like Getty into production. And so, our view and our history has been finding overlooked and undervalued assets, building really strong teams around them, and unlocking shareholder value. As I said, I think we're doing that in the gold space with Heliostar. If you look at Silvercoat, we've done that in the silver space, and Getty is the vehicle that we want to do it in the copper space. I think the team is well funded. There's about 8 million still in treasury today. We plan on continuing to drill, unlocking the full potential of the district, and then working out what's the best way to create shareholder value once we do that. So if you're interested in copper exposure, I don't think there's too many of these stage projects out there. I think there's a great runway ahead for Getty Copper, and we're looking to do and replicate the successes that we've had as a group with Heliostar and Silverco with Getty. If you'd like more information, please reach out to Ryan O'Regan, our CEO. Go on the website, follow on, subscribe for any of the news results, and follow the success that we're having at Getty Copper. There's not many good projects as good as Getty Copper out there in the copper space.